You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Stark.
You know me?
I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
My only curse is you.
All that for a drop of blood. You have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you.
Stop! Spare his life, and I will give you the stone.
No tricks.
Don't.
One to go.
Where is he? Did we just lose? Why would you do that? We're in the end.
Welcome to Mr. Screen. The Mad Titan has made several appearances in Marvel Comics, mainly in the saga to find the Infinity Stones. However, here I will bring up a much more advanced point, with Thanos without them, and even more so when he encounters Tony Stark again, but as the new Doctor Doom. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. The rebirth of Tony Stark. After the defeat of Thanos and the restoration of the universe, Tony Stark was celebrated as a hero, the man who sacrificed everything to save the world. But the peace he brought was short-lived. In the vast fabric of the multiverse, a collapse began to emerge. Entire realities began to fragment, and no one knew exactly why. What few understood was that, even after death, Stark continued to live on in a darker, different, and corrupted form. Stark's death had broken the barriers between universes, and in a distant corner of the multiverse, Victor Von Doom found a unique opportunity. A master of science and the mystic arts, Doom used his knowledge to track down Stark's soul in the afterlife and resurrect him. However, Doom did not bring Tony back out of benevolence. He knew that together they could control all timelines. Doom, however, underestimated Stark. After being resurrected and forced to merge his mind with Doom's, Tony began to dominate the villain's consciousness, slowly taking control of the fusion. Eventually, Doom was no longer a separate entity. He became part of Stark. Now, Tony Stark was Doom, but not the Doom the world knew. He had evolved, and with Doom's power combined with his unparalleled intellect, he now held the multiverse in his hands. He called himself Dr. Doom Stark. Doom Stark's plan. With Doom's mastery of the most advanced technologies and the mystical power that Doom possessed, Doom Stark no longer needed to simply protect the world. He now controlled an intricate web of realities, and with him, he began to shape the multiverse according to his own vision. His goal was simple: eliminate the Avengers and every hero in every timeline, every version of every universe to ensure his supremacy. He knew that as long as any version of any hero existed, they would always pose a threat to his power. But Stark needed something more: an army. So he set his sights on an old adversary, the one who defied the laws of the universe and nearly destroyed Earth. He decided to bring back Thanos, the Mad Titan. Not with the Infinity Gauntlet or the gems, but as his personal servant, a warrior without cosmic powers but with a ruthless mind and the ability to devastate civilizations. Doom Stark believed he could control Thanos, just as he had controlled Doom. He opened a rift in time and space, accessing the exact spot where Thanos was disintegrated by Stark's snap. Using his technology combined with magic, Doom Stark pulled Thanos back to the world of the living. Thanos reappeared, his monumental body ablaze as he emerged from the dimensional rift, but without the gauntlet or any of his Infinity Stones. He was bewildered, but not weakened. As he opened his eyes, his deep voice echoed, "Why am I here, Stark?" Doom Stark, clad in armor that combined Doom's style with Stark's technology, floated down from a platform in the air. His gaze was cold and calculating. "I brought you back, Thanos, because I need you. Together, we can eliminate any vestige of resistance in the multiverse. You will be my servant, and together we will destroy the Avengers, every version of them, in every reality." Thanos looked at Stark with disdain. He had seen death, felt the void beyond life, and to his surprise, while he was dead, he found something he had never known in life: peace. "I was dead, Stark," Thanos said, his voice heavy with a lifetime of war. "And while I was dead, I was finally at peace. I will not return to being the warrior you desire." Doom Stark bristled. He had believed that without his godlike powers, Thanos would be easy to manipulate, but he had underestimated the Titan's willpower. The Mad Titan, even without the gauntlet, remained a formidable force. He refused to revert to his destructive nature. That was not in Stark's plans. "You have no choice, Thanos," Doom Stark said. "I brought you back to life. Your existence now belongs to me." Thanos did not answer. He braced himself for battle, even without the stones, his gigantic fists clenching, ready to challenge Stark. The chains of fate. Doom Stark, now filled with rage, raised his hand. With one smooth motion, he conjured a series of mystical chains that emerged from the ground like metallic serpents, ensnaring Thanos before he could react. The chains glowed purple and green, wreathed in runes that pulsed with an ancient, incomprehensible energy. These were no ordinary chains. They were the chains of fate, a mystical artifact drawn from the depths of the most ancient realities. They bound not only Thanos' body, but his very essence. He could not escape. What is this? Thanos grunted as he tried to free himself, but each attempt only weakened him further. He felt his strength waning as the chains tightened around his being. These are the chains of fate, Doomstark explained. They are forged for the purpose of binding entities such as yourself. With them, I can't control you or leave you here for all eternity. I do not need a rebellious servant, Thanos. I need someone who understands the true power I hold. Doomstark then lifted the chains and, with a flick, threw them into a portal. Thanos was pulled into a different dimension, a place where the rules of time and space made no sense. It was a prison built to contain those who would try to rebel against the new ruler of the multiverse. Thanos was thrown into a dark cell, his chains still squeezing his soul, rendering him powerless. Around him, reality was chaotic, fragmented. This was the multiverse of the chains of fate, a liminal space between dimensions where trapped souls had no control over time or space. Doomstark watched for a moment, satisfied with his work. You will remain here, Thanos, until you learn your place. Without another word, Doomstark closed the portal, leaving Thanos in his dimensional prison. To the new ruler of the multiverse, this was not a defeat. It was merely a correction on the path to his ultimate victory. The Avengers of the multiverse. As Doomstark continued his plan to eliminate the heroes of every reality, the Avengers began to realize that a new threat was at play. Across the timelines, heroes began to mysteriously disappear. Entire realities were being consumed, and those who managed to escape had only one word to describe the person responsible: Doom. Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, had assembled a small force of surviving Avengers. With him were Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and an alternate version of Natasha Romanoff. They knew that to stop Doomstark, they would need more than just brute force. They needed to understand what they were up against. He has control of the multiverse, Doctor Strange explained. And he has Thanos, or did. If Doomstark is really bringing Thanos back, things could get worse very quickly. Peter Parker, still processing everything that was happening, asked, "But why bring Thanos back? He almost destroyed everything." Doomstark is smart, but this seems like a mistake. Strange shook his head. Tony Stark doesn't make mistakes. He wants to use Thanos for something bigger. If Thanos is being brought back as a servant, it means Doom has a plan that goes beyond just destroying universes. The Avengers' only hope was to find a way to access the Chains of Fate multiverse and rescue Thanos before Doomstark could bend the Titan to his will. The journey to the Chains of Fate, the Avengers discovered that in order to access the Chains of Fate multiverse, they would need a mystical artifact capable of breaking the barriers of the interconnected realities. This artifact was hidden deep within the Dark Realm, an inhospitable place where few dared to tread. Together, Sam, Peter, Natasha, and Doctor Strange set out on a perilous journey, traversing chaotic dimensions and facing realities corrupted by the power of Doomstark. Each battle was more difficult than the last, and the emotional toll of fighting twisted versions of their friends and allies weighed heavily upon them. As they continued on, Sam questioned the cost of all this. "How many more of these versions of us will we see die?" he asked, looking at the corpses of alternate versions of the Avengers they encountered along the way. Doctor Strange somberly replied, "If we fail, every version of us will die." After a brutal and nearly hopeless journey, they finally found the artifact, only to discover that it was guarded by an entity called the Doomwatch, a being who would not allow intervention in the fabric of time without a price. "You seek to break the chains of fate," said the Watcher, hovering above them. "But these chains maintain the balance of the multiverse. To tamper with them is to tamper with fate itself. Are you prepared to pay the price?" Without hesitation, Sam replied, "If this is what it takes to stop Doomstark, we are willing to pay any price." With a nod, the Watcher allowed them to take the artifact. But he warned, "Remember, the price of fate will always be exacted. The liberation of Thanos." Now with the artifact in hand, the Avengers prepared to confront Doomstark and rescue Thanos. They opened a portal to the multiverse of the Chains of Fate, where Thanos remained trapped, weakened but not defeated. As they entered the chaotic multiverse, they found Thanos trapped in his cell, the chains glowing around him. The Titan looked at them suspiciously. "Have you come to free me?" Thanos asked, his voice thick with surprise. Sam nodded. "We need your help to stop Doomstark. He's destroying everything. The entire multiverse is in danger." Thanos laughed, a deep rumble that echoed through the dimension. "You're fools. Doomstark has already won. Doctor Strange looked at him, his eyes full of determination. Not yet. With the artifact, they broke the chains and freed Thanos. He fell to his knees, exhausted but free. Even weakened, his presence was imposing. You have a choice now, Thanos, Sam said. You can help us stop Doom Stark and save the multiverse, or you can return to your eternal peace. Thanos looked at the heroes before him, considering the peace he had longed for and the chaos he had wrought in life. Finally, he stood, his eyes shining with his old determination. I will help you, Captain, he replied, but not for you. I do it for me. The peace I desire will never come as long as Doom Stark exists. The final battle. With Thanos now at the Avengers' side, they prepared for the final battle against Doom Stark. They knew that, even with their combined strength, the fight would be one of the most difficult they had ever faced. The fate of all realities depended on them. Doom Stark, now at the height of his power, watched from his multiversal throne, aware that his enemies were closing in. He knew it would only be a matter of time before they made their final move. But what Doom Stark didn't know was that, even with all his power, fate has its own chains, and not even he could completely control them. The battle for the multiverse was about to begin, and this time alongside an unusual presence. So these are our theoretical points. What do you think of all this? What could the Thanos of this new timeline do? Don't forget to leave a comment with your opinion, click the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I'm Mr. Screen and see you soon. Bye.